What if world-class performing arts, unforgettable live concerts, and unmissable cultural experiences were right here in the heart of the San Fernando Valley? Welcome to the Soraya Performing Arts Center at Cal State Northridge, one of the Los Angeles' premier destinations for live entertainment, music, dance, and theater. In this episode of Eat, Live, Love San Fernando Valley, we're taking you inside this architectural landmark to explore why the Sariah is more than just a venue. It's a cultural hub that brings Broadway shows, global artists, and community events to our very own backyard. Stay tuned as we highlight what makes the Sariah a must-visit destination for anyone who loves live performances, Los Angeles arts and culture, and the vibrant lifestyle of the San Fernando Valley. Thor, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, Scott, thanks for being here at the Sariah.
All right, it is an honor to be here. All right, so tell me, what makes the Sariah different than so many other performing arts centers that we have here in Los Angeles?
Well, the most important thing is the Sariah is the Valley's Performing Arts Center. And you know, the Valley, you know this better than anyone, has 1.8 million people. So of course it should have a major performing arts center, one like this, one that's grand and beautiful and serves the Valley. So that's what's particularly unique about it.
So speaking of which, tell me about the story behind the architecture and the design of the Sariah.
Sure. So for a long time, Valley leaders were trying to build a performing arts center. They believed, like I do, the Valley deserved a really great venue. But that was for decades, and they couldn't find the right place, and they couldn't find the right funding, and so it took a while. But eventually, CSUN and their president at the time, Jolene Kester, she raised her hand and said, we'll do it at CSUN, which is pretty amazing. And that was in 2006. And the fundraising started and things were happening, and all of a sudden we had the Great Recession. Remember that in 2008 and 9. And that was right in the middle of us creating this place. And so there were certain financial pressures, but something that people don't realize, there was also opportunity because the cost of materials was at an all-time historic low. So we built this extraordinary venue, 167,000 square feet for $125 million.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, right? And while on one hand it's a very beautiful and grand building, there's a lot of economies built into the design. We hired a firm called HGA. They're an international design firm located in Minneapolis. And the lead architect, I love this part, was a woman named Cara Hill. And unfortunately, there are not very many public venues that have female architects, big public projects like this. So we are so proud of that. And she designed this place that not only is an incredible venue, but has a lobby which she calls equivalent to the great theaters of Europe. She wanted a lobby that wasn't small and cramped and just was a place you passed through, but a lobby which was a place where you hung out. And that's what we're doing right now.
What type of performances can people expect when they come to the Sariah?
So many things. I mean, one of the things that sets us apart is we really don't focus on one kind of performance, we focus on many kinds of performances. Now that in itself may not be unique, but we excel in some areas that are otherwise underrepresented, I think. First of all, we are the foremost presenter of Spanish language performances in Los Angeles. And let's face it, we know a significant portion of the Valley population is Spanish speaking, and so we love serving that audience. They're at home here, they come in 3 or 4 generations, so that's really great. We also have an extraordinary jazz festival. Downbeat magazine, which is the authority on jazz, called us one of the world's great jazz venues. So, you know, that's really exciting for us. The hall is also built for things like orchestras and classical music. The acoustics are really pristine, so we have some of that going on, and lots of other things in between. And like, for example, this week we have Toy Story with a live orchestra, the film. It's the 30th anniversary of the animated film Disney Pixar, with music by Randy Newman, and so we're going to have a lot of families in the venue all weekend, which will also be great.
Well, I can't wait. We're going to be here for that also. I can't wait to bring my kids for this event. All right, so describe to me, when someone comes to the Sariah, what the experience is like from the moment they step through the doors.
So the Sariah is we hope, an A+ customer service experience. We take it very seriously, all the way from ticketing and parking through your experience in the lobby, walking into the venue for the performance. One of the things I like to say is we are a series of successive surprises. What do I mean by that? First of all, you know, the local neighborhood is very residential. Granted, the campus is here, but you don't expect a 1,700-seat large venue to be here, of all places, on Nordhoff. And so the first surprise is you arrive and there's this enormous edifice That's the first surprise. The second one is you walk in the lobby, and the lobby is extraordinary. When we're here now, you can see it's architecturally really awe-inspiring. The third surprise is you walk in the auditorium, which has a completely different look and feel, and then the performance starts, and the acoustics are amazing, and we put on performances on our stage that you could see at Carnegie Hall in the same week, or any of the great performance halls or concert venues in Europe, right here in this neighborhood in Northridge, which in itself is a surprise. So I like to say the experience is number one, customer service, number two, we love to surprise and delight all of our audiences.
Here in Los Angeles, we're spoiled with world-class entertainment from the Hollywood Bowl to the Pantages. But what makes the Sariah so special is that it brings that same level of talent and artistry right here to the San Fernando Valley. You don't have to drive to downtown LA or fight traffic across the city to see international musicians, Broadway caliber productions, dance companies, and cultural performances from around the world. Instead, you can experience it all right here in Northridge at the heart of the valley. The Sariah isn't just a venue, it's a landmark. From the moment you see its striking architecture and step inside the concert hall, you'll feel like you're in one of those top performing arts centers in the country. The acoustics are phenomenal, the seating's intimate, and the experience feels personal. No seat is a bad seat, and that's rare for a theater of this size. What makes it even more unique is the variety of programming. One week you could see a symphony orchestra, the next a Grammy-winning jazz artist, followed by a family-friendly Broadway show or a cultural festival celebrating music and dance from around the globe. The Sariah truly reflects the diversity and energy of Los Angeles, but it's planted firmly in the valley. And it's not just about the shows. The Sariah has become a cultural hub and a place where the community gathers, where CSUN students can engage with the arts, and where families can create memories without leaving the neighborhood. That's something that sets it apart from almost any other venue in Los Angeles. All right, Thor, we're inside the auditorium. So talk to me about the acoustics in this venue.
Yeah, the acoustics are pretty extraordinary, and we have to do two different things, because we have concerts that are amplified, you know, where people are singing into microphones, and concerts that are completely unamplified, like when we have an orchestra on the stage. So there are some adjustable aspects of the acoustics. You know, there's panels that you don't see but are kind of behind the walls that come in and out. And so those adjust for the two different kinds of concerts. But look, this building has, and we are told this repeatedly by musicians who are classical musicians, some of the best acoustics, not only for the audience, but part of the performances experience is what the artists are hearing back from the theater. And the conductors and soloists love to perform in the Sariah. For amplified shows, I'm going to tell one story. We did a 100th birthday party for Frank Sinatra. And the place was packed, and we did all of Frank Sinatra's greatest hits with a big band. And at the end of the show, this very elderly gentleman walked up to the sound booth where our sound guy was operating it, and he leaned over and he said, "That was the best sound mix I have ever heard." And I did Frank Sinatra's recordings at the Capitol Records building for a lot of years. So that's somebody who knew.
And you know what, something else I like here is that it's a very intimate setting in here, because obviously a lot of the performing arts centers, they're very large, but I like how there's really not a bad seat in the house.
There's not a bad seat. So it's funny, there's 1,700 seats on 4 levels. But, you know, the theater kind of is circular in nature, and it doesn't feel as big as it is. Right. I get that feedback from people all the time.
Or who was the building named after?
Yeah, so the building opened in 2011, and it didn't really have a name. It was called the Valley Performing Arts Center. In 2017, we had a chief benefactor, the Nazarian family, and the matriarch of the Nazarian family is Soraya Nazarian. And they made a major gift that will secure this venue and its programs long into the future. And the family decided to name it after the family's mother or grandmother, Soraya Nazarian. And she comes all the time. She's here for many performances, and it's also interesting, she's an artist, she's a sculptor. So it's really great to have a benefactor who's still with us, one who's an artist and understands what we do, and we're so grateful to the Nazarian family.
Well, it's time for me to go downstairs, see my family. We can't wait to watch the show today.
Have a great time, Scott. Thanks.
One of the things I love most about the Sariah is that it's not just for adults. It's a place I can share with my family. So today, I'm taking Hannah and Ariella to see a performance, and this is the kind of memory that stays with you forever. And it's more than just a show. It's an introducing my daughters to world-class art and culture right here in the Valley. And the fact that we don't have to drive downtown and can experience this in our own community, again, makes it even more special. And that's why the Sariah isn't just another performing arts center. It's one of the true cultural treasures of the San Fernando Valley. From world-class concerts and Broadway-like shows to intimate community performances, this venue brings the best of Los Angeles right here to our backyard. So if you've never been, now's the time to check it out. Trust me, you won't forget the experience. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Eat, Live, Love San Fernando Valley. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and that way you don't miss more stories and experiences that make the Valley such a special place to call home.